From London, England, where the Queen lives.
Recorded live from an underground bunker and packaged into an MP3 with a pretty little picture. Helping to kickstart your day with the motivation and inspiration you need
365 days a year.
This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. And this is your host, Chris Jaggs.
Good morning. This is the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. My name is Chris Jaggs, and this must be another Monday. I hope you had a great weekend and ready for a brand new week full of possibilities for you out there. For this episode, I want to cover something that I've heard many times, and when I see people and think about it, how they act, it kind of all makes sense. Have you ever heard the expression, you are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with? Now, whether you heard it or not, it kind of makes a lot of sense to a lot of people out there. But before we get started, there's been a couple of podcast reviews over on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever it's called. Our first review is from A. Roberts89 from Italy, who said, Chris is a great host. He does an amazing job with every motivational pill. Highly recommended. And our second review is from Miss Berg, who said, motivation, positivity, and inspiration is definitely needed. This is a great show that will definitely give me a quick daily pick-me-up dose. A huge thank you to you both. If you'd like to send a review, please do. And I'll give you a shout out on our future show. Right, let's have a drop and let's get going.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello there, folks. We're mighty glad to have you with us.
Learn, develop, live the perfect start to the day.
Unless it's in the afternoon or it's in the evening. You know what I mean.
And we are back in the room. So, I was reading an article on a website, and it was about the effects people have on you, the ones you spend the most time around. The subject isn't anything new either. There is actually a famous Jim Rohn quote that says, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, it is a statement I've heard many, many times, and it also covers parents and their kids. Your child or children look up to you. You are the role model. To them, you are the all-knowing power of the universe. Except maybe Santa Claus if you celebrate Christmas, but you know what I mean. They watch how the parents and caregivers talk, eat, react to situations, interact with others. You are your child's first teacher. If you spend all day on the sofa eating crisps, then that's what your child thinks that you're meant to do. It's not the greatest example, especially as you're leading it, is it? When you're younger, it's highly likely that your parents or guardian, they warned you to be careful about who you spend time with, even going as far as telling you which kids not to spend time with, right? This was not simply because of the perception that society has on us, but also because of the impact that our friends would have on you. The perception of society on your character should be a lesser worry, because there could be wrong anywhere, and you can't walk around worrying about what people will think about you. That's their business. Of more concern is the impact that people you surround yourself with and the impact they have on your character. One of the most overlooked factors for achieving success is the people you choose to surround yourself with, that they play a significant role in your character, your ambitions, and ultimately how successful you will actually be. Whether you realise it or not, the company you keep plays a huge role in who you are. Think about any time in your life when you were introduced to a totally new crowd. Maybe you transferred schools, changed jobs, or moved to a different city. Whether you knew it or not, it's likely that you adopted the new place's slang, the mannerisms, the popular way of dressing, even the perceptions on various issues. Yes, it is much easier to be influenced by your environment as a kid, but do not for a second assume that as a young adult or a grown-up you're exempt, because I can assure you, you're not. Spend enough time in any crowd and you're bound to pick up a trait, a habit, a point of view or two. Coupled with your own thoughts, habits and mannerisms, what you pick up from the people that you interact with the most will determine who you become, what character you have, what thoughts you have, and what perceptions that you have of the big wide world. Now, you may argue that you're a conscious, intelligent, and self-aware individual, that is not easily swayed by the crowd, and this may well be true. But if you are constantly in an environment where you are surrounded by pessimistic, fear-based people, it's bound to impact your own confidence in yourself and possibly your dreams, therefore slowing down your own progress. And this is not what we want, is it? Each day has 24 hours, and of the 24, we spend around an average of 10 hours with other people, and in most cases, unless you're travelling, you spend time with the same people. In the hours you spend with others, most of it is spent engaging with one another in conversation. Through these conversations, you'll pick up schools of thought, perception, character traits, even simple habits as hand gestures, voices, body posture. Now, this may all sound harmless, and you may be thinking, you're your own character, you're strong. You can strong enough to repel any such subtle influences, but observational learning has been defined to be a mode of learning where you learn through observing all the other people. So while you may notice it, you may find yourself with a similar posture, just as you stand there next to your best friend. If your best friend, if he's a very confident person, you'll find yourself being more confident when you take up their posture. If he or she is not very confident, you'll find yourself feeling less confident whenever you take up their posture. It's all science. Whether it is apparent or not, who you are as a person drifts towards the direction of the people you spend the most time with, because all important traits are contagious. Your beliefs, values, moods, attitude, mannerisms, habits. You become exactly what you surround yourself with. It is inevitable that you'll be influenced by your surroundings, which is why it's important to choose who you surround yourself with very carefully. If you look to begin surrounding yourself with confident, optimistic, and insanely ambitious people whose character you admire, you're bound to pick up on the confidence, which will influence you to fiercely believe in the possibility of your own visions and follow them through to the end. Think of the smart people who are interested in books, growing their knowledge on numerous subjects, people who are interested in learning new concepts, who are not interested in being the conventional cool kid, and suddenly your view of the world expands and there are all these possibilities. There were no limits. You can challenge yourself to be more like that, and as a result, you push yourself. And in time, you will thrive. And it's very likely you'll be happy as well. The whole concept reminds me of a quote I often hear. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room. There are so many benefits of surrounding yourself with people who are smarter than you, and we've already said, think of the things you'll learn from speaking to them, being around them. Again, their mannerisms, how they act. You will learn so much. It's quite simple. If you're spending time with people who are holding you back, you will lag behind. If you're spending time with people who are fueling the fire in your soul, you will thrive. Now, I'm not a mathematician, far from it actually, but it's simple mathematics, so to speak. Take this quote from the late Steve Jobs. Surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers, but most of all, surround yourself with those who see greatness within you, even when you don't see it yourself. Everything of worth ever built began with the idea of an ambitious person who was determined to see his or her vision through to the end. You don't have to become best friends with each ambitious person you come across. You can simply engage with them and learn what you can from them. Learn how they think, how they perceive the world. Even if it's just for a moment, it will not be a waste of time. Now, as always, the question is now for you. What sort of person do you want to be? But also, what sort of person will you let yourself be? If you want to discuss this some more, let's talk. You can book yourself a free 30-minute call at ldlcall.com and we go through this a little bit further. So let's wrap this one up now, and I will see you in the next one.
Goodbye.
What? It's over already?
All over.
Thank you for listening to the Learn, Develop, Live podcast. I hope you feel as warm, motivated, and fuzzy inside as I do. You can connect with Chris at LearnDevelopLive.com or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
I won't say goodbye. I'll just say until we meet again.
Until next time, join the motivation. Motivation.